So the year was 2003. I was very overweight. I had a lot of behavioral problems. And I made a major step in changing a lifestyle issue. And the impetus for the change was my first day of school. I was going to college part-time. I was 16 years old. There was a girl in the classroom that I liked, but I was very overweight, and I needed to lose some weight. And I was hoping to lose some weight by the end of that semester and go up to her toward the end of the semester to talk to her. I used to drink a lot of soda. I was drinking 4 liters of soda a day. And I went home and I was just about to get my regular soda when I said to myself, let's try some water. Nothing to lose. If I don't like it, I'll go right back to soda. I picked up the water and I drank it, and for some reason it clicked that time. And for some reason I told myself it could be the rest of my life without soda. And 19 years later, here we are. And I distinctly remember at the very beginning, I would focus on the image of myself 10 years, 20 years, 30 years after I quit drinking the soda, being free of it, being free of the cravings from it, being healthy. I used to love to watch the reality TV show Survivor, but at the time I thought there was no way I could ever go on this show. I couldn't go without my soda and my other junk foods for the 1 or 2 months or however long a season runs for, right? There's no way I could do that. That's what I thought to myself. I still don't want to go on that show, but for other reasons these days. But that was that. Now fast forward 19 years later, and the situation today is very reminiscent of that, right? 10 years later, 20 years later, after I haven't masturbated 10, 20 years, I'll have all these things under my belt. I'll finally do things that I actually need to take care of. I've noticed ever since I quit masturbating that I'm much more willing to deal with conflict rather than just put my head in the sand. I had a lot of problem at my last job, which I ended up having to great resignation from. What had happened was my boss and his children, who also worked there part-time, didn't accept me for who I was. My coworkers and my boss and their children would regularly have events that they would take a day off for: weddings, graduations, children's events, and I would want to go out to stargaze, and my boss would just mercilessly make fun of it. I want to stargaze for an event tonight, and my boss was like, why can't you come tomorrow? Come on. That lunar eclipse ends at 4 a.m. You can come back. He would literally say stuff like that. And on Valentine's Day, my boss's children were bragging about all the elaborate dates that they were going on, and so it made me want to brag about my solo sexual dates, and they made fun of that. And at the time, I would go home and masturbate to forget about all that. Today, I have a boss who may not try to make fun of me, but has a hard time following new experiences. And instead of hiding out to masturbate, I actually deal with the conflict, and that's the difference. I feel I could have done a whole lot better at my last job if I didn't masturbate so much. So for example, at my new work, I had a difficulty with the office space, of the ergonomics of it and the comfort, and I spoke to my boss about rearranging some furniture. Right now I'm kind of putting it off, but I need to talk to my boss about installing some lights because I have seasonal depression during the winter time. I'm kind of debating whether I should just up and install it and wait for somebody to ask questions, or to talk first. I'm leaning toward talking first, because if my boss is going to not be happy about it, I'd rather have the opening statement there. Feel free to chime in if you guys disagree with that. I'll bring in the lights and say, hey, is there a good place to plug this in? Oh, what is that? And I can tell them that UV lighting really helps with wintertime issues. That's what I'm leaning toward right now. But I feel comfortable doing that because I need to deal with I have not masturbating kind of creates a gap in my life that I want to fill with activity. That's how I like to put it. Now, what's really sad is I went to Google this one day, how many times the average American masturbates, and I multiplied it by the population. And let's say it's 5 minutes each time. You could do the math. How many hours is wasted on masturbating every day? And then think about all the great things we could accomplish. How many Nobel Prizes could be solved? how many people can resolve conflict with their significant others, with their bosses, with their employees, with their coworkers, with their family members, and you do the math. I'll let you do it, right? It's a dramatic loss when you think of it that way, right? Anyway, I really look forward to myself 10 years, 20 years, 30 years from now when I've got all this stuff under my belt from not masturbating. I'll be so free of the cravings from it. And I'm so glad to be thinking in these regards. The last couple of times I quit masturbating, I didn't feel this way. It was all about what I was giving up. This time it's about what I'm getting. And that's why I feel this time I have a good chance of going the rest of my life.